can't it, Ben? Good afternoon, it's 3:30. I'm Ed Groves and these are your Solent Sports News headlines. The Champions League draw has now been completed and on screen is the full draw. One of the most notable draws include Newcastle Karabag. The Azerbaijani side have reached the knockout phase for the first time in their history, despite losing 6-0 to Liverpool the other night. Another one to watch is Real Madrid playing Benfica again. Their last fixture ended with a shock finish after Benfica's goalkeeper scored a last-minute header to secure qualification. Everton manager David Moyes has announced that Jack Grealish is likely to need surgery. Grealish suffered a stress fracture on his foot, and if surgery is required, the winger will miss the remainder of the season. This is a huge blow, not only for the rest of his Premier League campaign, but also for his 2026 World Cup hopes. Southampton travel to Stoke tomorrow at a chance of reaching playoff spots. Thunder Kirkside are 7 points off these positions. Meanwhile, Stoke only sit 2 points behind the top 6. The Championship is producing a great second half of the season once again. Arsenal's wonder-kid teenager has signed his first pre-contract agreement with the club. Mikel Arteta has held 15-year-old Max Dowman as one of the best players he has ever seen at that age. The Spaniard even compared the youngster to Lionel Messi.
Well, certainly one of the best. I mean, what he's done with us at the age of 15, me personally, I haven't seen it before. Only with a guy that used to play in Barcelona, but maybe not even that. But yeah, he certainly has, not only that, he has a certain charisma as well and personality that he doesn't get overwhelmed, whether it's by the situation or the stadium or the opposition.
The Six Nations are on the horizon, with the first games taking place this Thursday. England get their campaign up and running next Saturday against Wales. We cut live now to our rugby correspondent, Pat Fitzgerald, who's going to earn a key move to break down defences. Over to you, Pat.
Hello guys, thank you very much, Ed. I am here in Test Park. The weather's not the best, let's be honest. I'm freezing, I'm wet, and as is everybody else here. But I'm here with Solent Rugby's fullback, Callum Dixty. Callum, how are you doing today?
Wet.
Wet, yeah, me too. So, as Ed mentioned, the Six Nations is starting next week, and I wanted to talk about game-changing moments. And one of those moments can be a sidestep, particularly a goose step. Now, this step's been trending online quite a bit, and I'm going to get Callum to teach me how to do one. So, Callum, if you could just run through the steps that you would do for a goose step and how you beat a defender.
So it's all about deceiving the defender. You don't want to know which way you're going. So you want to have your body nice and open.
Okay.
So you're open to go either left or right. And then you really want to, it's all about selling it. So you really want to lift that leg up to exaggerate and also to really explode off.
Okay.
And then you want to plant that left foot and just glide through.
So do you want to lift your stronger foot up?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. All
Well,
right.
you can do it off your weaker, but
better for your stronger.
you really want to create a distance, which
Okay.
is off stronger foot.
All right. So if you could demonstrate in full motion, if I'm the defender and you're trying to beat me, how would you do it?
So just really,
Okay. So a quick change of direction and then explosive power.
yeah.
Okay. Let's give it a go. I'll now demonstrate. If you come over here as the defender now, I will try not to slip. I promise. Here we go. Whoa. How's that? How's the technique there? If you could just...
It's the basics. It's a goose step,
It's a goose step, okay,
but
that's something.
just you really want to lift the legs really up higher, really just step through it.
Okay, all right.
Just exaggerate it as much as you can.
Okay. And what about the... I've heard there's a bit of a trend with the neck, the tilt back of the neck. What's your take on that?
It's just flare points.
Flare points, okay. Well, we'll try and get a bit of flair involved. Might make myself look a fool, but who cares? How about that? Flare points?
Yeah, I'll give
Points?
you a 10.
10 flare points.
10 for flair.
We'll take that. And now we're going to do one more in full motion. If you just stand over here, and I'm the defender, and you're trying to score a try and beat me. Here we go. Okay, well, I've nearly stacked today. It's maybe like an absolute fool, but well played, Callum. And finally, if I could just get you to predict who's going to win the Six Nations. You go Scotland. Scotland, okay. Well, you've heard it here from Callum. Scotland to win. Now, we talked to Solent's fly half earlier this week about other game-changing moments in rugby. Thank you very much. Next week, the attention often falls on the tries and tackles. The championships are won with a player wearing the number 10, the fly half.
I'm Solent Rugby. That's Ollie Broughton.
I'm Ollie, I play rugby and I'm the fly half.
So what exactly is the fly half position?
Be the playmaker, so you need to boss the team around, tell them where to go.
So, how much pressure then is there on the fly halves in the biggest moments?
Well, at the top level, you've got such quality across all the teams in all the positions that the playmaker deciding where to attack and where that overlap is really going to affect the game in a much more dramatic way.
So what pressure has Ollie experienced?
I guess a situation would be where we're losing, we've got about 10 minutes to go, but we're within one try. So if we score a try, we would have won. But you just got to sort of direct the play, control the boys, keep them calm, and then execute what we've been doing in training.
Okay, Ollie, could you give us a demonstration of kind of how you go through your routine in a situation where you're kicking a conversion or a penalty?
So I go, point the tee at the posts, ball on the tee with the valve on top, point the seam towards the middle of the posts, get it to balance, and then your run-up's personal preference. I go plant foot next to the ball, and then 4 steps back, and then 3 steps around it. And when you're ready,
should we give it a go?
Best, yeah.
Let's give it a go. Come on then. How would you rate all of our kicking out of 10, coming from Sam, Josh, Zach, and then me, Pat?
So, Sam, you play football?
Yes.
Yeah, I can tell. I'm going to say 5 out of 10. Josh? I'm going to say a bit better, we're working at 6. Zach? That's probably like a 6.5.
Oh!
And then I can tell that Pat's played rugby before. We're going to say that's a 7.5.
Oh, come on. So I'll take the win. Zach second, Josh third.
We'll take that.
Sam fourth. Now that Ollie's taught us how to kick, it's safe to say it was a lot harder than it first seemed, and we didn't even have pressure. Imagine how the pros feel. Pat Fitzgerald, Solent Sports News.
I'm feeling a little bit cold after watching that, but thank you very much for it. An Olympic sprinter has been arrested for dangerous excessive speeding. Sha'Carri Richardson, American gold medalist, has been charged with speeding after allegedly driving at 104 miles per hour. Richardson is no stranger to the law after she was arrested for domestic violence following an altercation with her boyfriend, Christian Coleman. Charges were eventually dropped by Coleman as he declined to participate in the investigation. The men's first international T20 match between Sri Lanka and England has been delayed due to the rain. While we wait for the news from Piquel, why don't we talk about the local Hampshire lad who is keeping England's under-19 World Cup unbeaten streak alive. I'm joined by Lloyd Stevens to find out more.
Thank you very much, Ed. Manny Lumsden is playing for the England under-19s cricket team, as you mentioned, and he was born here in Basingstoke and is also playing for Hampshire Cricket Club as well. Today he has become the leading wicket taker in the under-19s 50 World Cup, taking 5 for 17, helping England bowl New Zealand out for 169, having scored 234 in the first innings.
Thank you very much, Lloyd. It looks like we've got a future star on our hands. After beating Alexander Zverev in the longest Australian Open semi-finals of all time, the final now awaits for world number 1, Carlos Alcaraz. The Spaniard will face Novak Djokovic after he's just beat world number 2, Jannik Sinner. The Serbian came back from 2-1 down to win 3-2. His chance for a 25th major marches on. Defending title holder Alfie Hewitt has been eliminated from the Australian Open in the wheelchair tennis. The Englishman lost 6-4 and then 6-4 again to Spaniard Martin de la Puente, who will now advance to the final. Hewitt can hold his head high though, as he has 30 Grand Slam titles under his belt. Now for the age-old question, is darts a real sport? Our darts correspondent Lloyd Stevens answers that for us.
Darts has long been in the debate around what a sport actually is, with some seeing it as the ultimate pub game and some a professional sport. It was officially recognised by Sport England in 2005, when in 2010 Phil Taylor, the 16-time World Darts Championship, was awarded second place in the BBC Sports Personality of the Year award. The Cambridge Dictionary definition of a sport is a game, competition or activity needing physical effort and skill that is played or done according to rules for enjoyment and or as a job. So the question is, does darts take enough physical effort to be considered a sport? To answer that question, we asked local Solent darts team what they think.
I mean, it's hard to prove. It's hard to prove them wrong, really. I mean, it's 12:30 on a Wednesday afternoon, and there's 18 of us in the pub now playing. So it's it's certainly hard. I mean, it takes a lot more skill than I think a lot of people realise. You know, you are throwing metal over an 8-foot distance, so it's certainly not an easy sport, or an easy game. But there's also not many sporting elements.
I feel like it's still got the technique, the skill, the concentration of any other sport. I know there's not much physical activity involved. Obviously, you're just throwing, not really moving, just staying around. This is actually one of the sports really where you can actually have a beer whilst playing it. So I get why people say it, but I still feel like it's a sport because it still has all of the key elements of what a sport actually is. Obviously, skill. There's a lot of skill, precision, concentration, like I said before. It's just technique and practice over and over again, really, just to kind of fine-tune all of the skills that you picked up.
They clearly think that darts is a sport, but what does the future of the sport hold for them and their quote-unquote sport?
There's so many people that have just kind of set a role model for young people coming through the dart system, so I just think that the sport's just kind of exponentially grow, really.
That prize money like that will only start going up even more in the next 10 years. It could very easily get to 2 million. I think the one thing they do need to do is put the spread the prize money out a lot lower down. You know, you look at the Players' Championship events, the players that lose in the first round don't get any prize money.
Darts. Is it a sport, game or a hobby? Let us know what you think on our socials. Solent Sports News.
The Winmore Darts Masters are underway and the tournament has already produced a great upset. Three-time world champion Michael van Gerwen has been knocked out on the opening day by Damon Hayter. Luke Littler and Luke Humphries enter the tournament later tonight. Humphries will aim to defend his title as he faces Dave Chisnall this evening. The new era of toe wrestling is officially here as TWF Sports held their first event. Our reporter, Chloe Boyne, took a trip to Ashbourne for the Amateur Open.
Forget darts, forget pool. Toe wrestling is in town, quite literally in Ashbourne, Derbyshire. Also famous for Royal Shrovetide football, Ashbourne is the birthplace of toe wrestling and home to the Coach and Horses pub, which most recently held the Ashbourne Amateur Open. But what even is the sport? To find out more, I visited Great Britain Top Team MMA Gym to hear from the new CEO of TWF Sports, Will from Casuals.
It is an arm wrestle of the feet. It is as simple as that. So you interlock the big toe whilst it is on a plank, and you'll have two uprights either side, and all that you need to do is keep your heels on the floor, your bum's on the floor, your hands are behind your back, your opposite leg is raised, and then you are trying to get your opponent's foot to the opposing board. So unfortunately, there are some really nasty injuries that sometimes people don't quite realise. Broken ankles, broken toes, blown Achilles, ACLs, everything.
From a hen do to a fitness instructor,
aerobics, unfit aerobics, aquafit, kettlebell, step aerobics, aqua hit, Swiss ball, everything.
And now...
toe wrestling!
and the Derbyshire locals enjoying a Saturday night out, the first TWF Sports tournament set to seek out the next toe wrestling talent, all under the watchful eye of the four-time world champion.
Yeah, so I'm Ben Total Destruction Woodruff, but it's great to sort of see this event for the amateurs. All the people to just come and see the sport of toe wrestling, to be quite honest with you. The whole thing about toe wrestling is that anybody can become a champion. That's the whole ethos of the story, if you like. So you can just come off the street, walk in, like Moose did, just played a game of rugby, not expecting to perform at all. He's walked away as a winner. So that's the beauty of it, and that's how it should be.
Ben Wildgoose, aka Moose, was crowned the Ashbourne Amateur Open champion, and it's safe to say he'll be looking to compete the next time TWF Sports is in town.
My toes ache a little bit, but other than that, it's great. First time I've ever done it, enjoyed it. So yeah. Can't knock it. Yeah, 25 quid's worth of bacon, 5 free pints. What more could I want?
Chloe Boyne, Solent Sports News.
Playing pool at your local pub with a few mates is fun and games until you outclass them. I took on Ryan Longhurst to see how I would face against a professional. I'm getting a bit bored of playing with my friends now, and I've always wondered what sport I could go pro in, and pool's something that I've always really enjoyed. But how good would I be against the best player in Southampton?
I always try and do my talking on the table. To give you an idea, the Southampton local pool league runs a league in the winter and in the summer, and you have a singles entry on top of that as well. And in the last 3 years I've been in all 6 finals. I've won 5, lost 1. So I just like to say let the table do the speaking, and then let people come in with the comments on Facebook and just leave it at that. I don't even reply. Yeah, so that's a foul, it's a touchdown. Yeah. My dad got me a table when I was like 2-3 years old, you know, one of the little tiny ones. I think that's where everyone sort of started who just plays the game now. Qualified for Hampshire at the age of 12. Had about 4 or 5 England trials. Unfortunately didn't quite get in, but managed to do quite well on them. I'd say the biggest achievement recently is I entered the Amateur British Open and I got to the quarter final out of 96 amateurs, and that's across the whole country, so quite pleased with that one.
Ability just to leave tougher black even there, so no guaranteed a shot to win the race.
To keep those levels above the players that want to get to your level, you have to be dedicated, because you'll get found out otherwise, because there's a lot of quality players within the area. I would say it's quite a big gap. It depends. On a one-frame scenario, it's anyone's. It's a bit like a penalty. If me and you had a penalty, if you had a penalty with, say, Cristiano Ronaldo, he's got a chance of missing, you've got a chance of scoring. If he took 100 and you took 100, I think we know who's going to win. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when it comes to just for fun and then the elite, that's where your difference is at, if that makes sense.
Yeah. That was mental. And that is why you should never get too confident. As you can see, the gap between Ryan and me, I was all the way down here whilst he was up here. He absolutely wiped me off the floor. Sports is a major player for students at university. Piran discovers what a Wednesday would look like for a typical sports student.
The student's highlight of the week is a Bucks Wednesday. Playing alongside your mates, taking on rival universities. And to top it off, to finish with, a good uni social and a night out. This week at Solent University, students had 4 home games back to back. So, to kick it all off at the Solent Sports Complex is the men's volleyball.
I mean, Bucks Wednesday is the day every uni student looks for. Any competitive sports, but even not competitive, you're there to watch. It's the best day of the week. Volleyball is everything, you know, it's your detox, it's your stress relief, and especially the competitiveness, it just adds the fun.
Unfortunately, the volleyball ended in Solent's first loss of the day. And next up is the women's football. So, we're off to Test Park.
We normally either play or go to watch the ones at Solent Ladies, and then we'll go back, get ready for the social. There's normally a theme, and then we'll go to the social sex house and have our social. Good. It's a really good way to meet people and to make lots of friends, and also to play some sport.
Football wasn't too successful for Solent, 5-1 loss. But hopefully fortunes change. We're just pulling back up at the Solent Sports Complex.
Yeah, drop it in. We have a really good team. Got really lucky with our freshers this year. So no, it's such a good environment to be in. Especially on a Wednesday, we all come together in the change rooms, listen to music, and no, it's just a really good environment.
Solent finally got their first win of the day out of the matches in that women's netball, and now we're for the final game of the day, we're switching courts. It's now men's basket.
It's energetic, it's fun. It always goes down to the wire here and there, especially with the first team, live, fun. So on a Wednesday, I either go to the gym or I just come down to the court and just enjoy seeing basketball, seeing different type of sports. Me and my teammate, here we go.
Solent finished off the day winning the basketball. It might have started off all doom and gloom for Solent students, but now they finish on a high and get to party hard into the night. Perrin Phillips, Solent Sports News.
That's all for us today. Thank you for listening. You can stay up to date on our website solentsportsnews.com for regular updates. See you next week.